Tomorrow morning, the first 90 minutes after you open your eyes will quietly decide what your body does with everything you eat for the rest of the day. Burn it for fuel or shove it into your belly fat. Most people sleepwalk through this window. Most doctors will never tell you it exists. And one wrong move inside it can shut your fat cells tight until you go to bed that night, no matter how clean your lunch is or how hard you push at the gym. The man who has spent the last 20 years putting numbers on this is Dr. Benjamin Bikman, professor of physiology at Brigham Young University and one of the most cited insulin researchers alive today. He runs his own metabolism lab in Provo, Utah. Over 100 peer-reviewed papers carry his name, and every time the data lands on his desk, it tells him the same uncomfortable thing. The calories model is broken, and a single hormone holds the master switch most clinicians have never even bothered to test. Over the next few minutes, 4 pieces are going to fall into place for you. The hormone deciding right now whether you store fat or release it, the morning chemistry quietly turning your breakfast into belly tissue, the exact swap you can run tomorrow that costs you nothing, and the reason some people do everything right and still cannot move the scale, which finally explains the gap between 2 friends on the same diet getting wildly different results. Stick around for the 4th one. It is the piece almost every weight loss video on this platform skips. So let's start at the beginning with the lie most of us were raised on. For most of the last 50 years, the story you've been sold goes like this: calories in, calories out. Eat a little less, move a little more. Simple arithmetic. Dr. Bikman points out the small problem with that arithmetic. There is one hormone in your body that decides what your cells actually do with every calorie you swallow, whether to burn it, whether to bury it as fat, whether to release fat already in storage. That hormone is insulin, and when it sits high in the blood, an enzyme inside your fat cells called hormone-sensitive lipase, HSL for short, gets switched off. HSL is the only doorway by which stored fat can leave a fat cell. Insulin closes that door. Until insulin drops, the fat physically cannot get out, no matter how aggressively you cut calories. If that sounds extreme, the clearest evidence comes from one of the most uncomfortable case studies in medicine. Some young women diagnosed with type 1 diabetes deliberately skip their prescribed insulin doses so they can eat unrestricted and stay extremely thin. Doctors call it diabulimia. It is dangerous, sometimes lethal, and it works exactly the way insulin biology predicts. Pull insulin out of the equation, and the body cannot hold on to fat tissue, regardless of how many calories pour in. The flip side is just as striking. The moment those same patients are placed on insulin therapy, they routinely gain 10 to 15 pounds within their first hospital week, even when they begin eating less than they did before. Same person, fewer calories, wildly different outcome. The only thing that changed was the hormone. That single observation dismantles the calorie-only model, and it leads straight into the next question. If insulin is the master switch, what flips it on hardest? The answer is the part most morning routines are getting completely wrong. Most articles mention the dawn phenomenon and stop there. The full mechanism has layers, and the layers are where the real damage hides. Between roughly 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., your body releases 4 counter-regulatory hormones in a coordinated cascade. Growth hormone first during deep sleep, then a rising tide of cortisol, glucagon, and epinephrine that peaks near 4 a.m. Together, they instruct your liver to dump stored glucose into your blood so your brain has fuel waiting the moment your eyes open. Then a separate event fires in the first 30 to 45 minutes after you actually wake. Researchers call it the cortisol awakening response, documented in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology. Free cortisol jumps 2 to 3 times above its overnight baseline. This part is a healthy reflex, designed to mobilize energy and bring you online for the day. The problem is what cortisol does to the rest of the system. It pushes your cells into a mild state of insulin resistance and keeps the liver dripping glucose into the bloodstream. So, at the exact moment you wake up, your blood sugar is already elevated by hormonal design, and your insulin signaling is partly muted. Now, picture the average breakfast. Oatmeal, cereal, toast, banana, orange juice. Every one of those is a fast-acting carbohydrate. You are pouring sugar onto a tank that hormones have already topped off. Your pancreas has to release a large insulin spike to handle the combined load, and that insulin then stays elevated for hours, locking your fat cells shut deep into the afternoon. And here's the part that almost no one talks about. Cortisol does more than raise glucose. In the abdominal fat depots specifically, cortisol directly suppresses HSL, the same enzyme insulin is already shutting down. So morning carbs plus morning cortisol create the only window in your day where both locks on the fat cell are engaged at the same time. That is why belly fat tends to come on first and leave last. If that sounds like a trap, the way out is simpler than you would expect, and it starts tomorrow morning. The fix is cheaper than coffee. Stop feeding the spike. Dr. Bikman's instruction is direct. For the first meal of the day, and ideally the second one too, push carbohydrates close to zero. Eat protein and natural fat. Eggs cooked any way you like them, a few strips of bacon, plain Greek yogurt with no sweetened fruit at the bottom, smoked salmon, half an avocado, a small handful of macadamias. The protein and fat combination barely moves insulin and keeps you full for hours. There is a deeper biological reason this works, and it traces back almost a century. In the early 1920s, two researchers named Staub and Traugott reported a strange observation. The composition of your first meal silently programs the glucose and insulin response of your second meal up to 4 hours later. Modern studies have confirmed it. A 2015 paper in the Journal of Nutrition showed clearly that adults with type 2 diabetes who ate a high-protein breakfast had a far calmer glucose and insulin response at lunch than those who started the day with carbs. The fuse you light at sunrise is still burning at noon. So here are 3 moves that cost you nothing. First, do not rush to eat the second your feet hit the floor. Let cortisol settle for 60 to 90 minutes. A glass of water and a short walk outside is the entire opening protocol. Second, when you do eat, lead with protein. A 4-egg omelet outperforms a smoothie bowl every single morning. Third, walk for 10 minutes after every meal. Skeletal muscle is the largest glucose disposal tissue in the body, and a study published in 2025 found that even a 10-minute walk immediately after eating meaningfully lowers your peak blood sugar response compared to sitting still. Quick favor while we're here, drop a comment with the city you are watching from and what your typical breakfast looks like right now. Curious how this lines up across countries. Now, if you've been doing everything right and the scale is still not moving, the next part is for you. Because there's one more piece almost every weight loss video on this platform skips. Visceral fat. The deep belly fat wrapped around your organs behaves differently from the soft subcutaneous fat under your skin. It carries a far higher density of beta-adrenergic receptors. In plain terms, visceral fat is biologically wired to release its fuel in response to adrenaline-type signals, but only when insulin is low. The receptors are present, the fuel is loaded, the signal is ready. Insulin is the parking brake. One bad night of sleep is enough to slam that brake. Sleep deprivation raises next-day cortisol, which raises insulin, which raises cravings for the precise foods that raise insulin further. The loop has been mapped in detail. Cortisol crosses into the hypothalamus and increases 2 appetite-driving proteins called neuropeptide Y and AGRP, while simultaneously boosting dopamine release in the amygdala when refined carbs arrive. That is not a willpower failure. That is your chemistry being run against you. The way out is unglamorous, but it works. 7 to 8 hours of real sleep. Protein-led breakfast, walks after meals, resistance training 2 or 3 times a week so your muscles have somewhere to put the glucose you do eat. Stacked together, these flip the entire morning script. So let's bring it all home. Calories are not the gatekeeper. Insulin is, and the most powerful insulin event of your day happens before you have chewed your first bite. Cortisol rises, glucose climbs, your cells go briefly resistant. Feed that window the wrong food and your fat cells stay locked until dinner. Feed it correctly and the burning door stays propped open for hours. Tomorrow morning, change one thing. No oats, no toast, no juice. Eggs or any protein in your fridge, water, a short walk. Run it for 7 days and watch what happens to your appetite, your energy, and the scale. Want the deeper plan? Tap the next video on your screen right now. Dr. Jason Fung walks through the exact eating pattern that resets stubborn insulin resistance without leaving you hungry. It pairs perfectly with what you just learned. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Speak with your doctor before changing your diet, exercise, or medication, especially if you take insulin or any glucose-lowering drug.